It's amazing the track your story can take, especially depending on your assignment and your feelings and your mood. So here's a piece of video. Take a look at this.
One of the criteria I came up with was to keep everything in a horizontal format. This really should be a vertical picture, but in keeping with what I'm after, I'm going to shoot it as a horizontal, and we'll see what we can do with it. This is quite interesting. Good. What I did when this one was I switched to a fisheye lens, and you can see the field curvature in that piece of glass gives me a real curved looking image. So I'll try it from a different perspective and see what I get. Good ones, all right.
This image shows the strong, curved fisheye lens effect. This has been cropped slightly because I'm honoring Ken's wishes not to be in the shot. A fisheye can see 180 degrees field of view. That's half of the world. And he didn't want to be in it, so it's cropped a teeny bit. So this exhibit is cropped, enhanced with a border, and once I enhanced it, I went in further and did my intensification. Now we have an intensified balancing act, the critters at the base. Oh, it's your choice. You can do what you want. They're your images. All right, in that video you just saw there, I was using a 15 millimeter fisheye lens. It made it easy to get exciting shot without looking even through the camera. That's a real benefit when you're using such a super wide angle. Just kind of point and shoot and get and capture. It's really kind of cool. You wondered how they did that? Yeah, when the president comes off an airline, they just take a super wide, hold it over their head and point. And that's how you get them. Now, let's take a look at this piece.
All right, we just shot a piece here. We had 3 kinds of architecture in these headstones. A brand new stainless steel curved, a beautiful arc. Plus we've got a typical Christian cross. And then we got a headstone that looks a lot like Delicate Arch, kind of symbolizing what's happening in Utah. So we're covering a whole gamut here, trying to show what's going on in the cemetery.
And we see the 3 markers in one shot.
I'm going to try a different lens here. Most of what I've been doing is with a zoom lens. This one I've changed to a lens baby. See if we can get kind of a different looking effect out of this. And it's a manual focus, manual exposure lens, so we're just trying our best to see what we can get. The theory in this lens is that it gives us a lot of spherical aberration.
Now here, I used Lens Baby. It was the Lens Baby Velvet 56 millimeter. It's an f1.6 lens, and it has a tremendous amount of spherical aberration. And when you shoot it wide open, it flares all over the place. Now, as you stop down, it can be the same as any other lens. but I love it wide open. It adds an outstanding ethereal feel. You really pays off if you shoot in a graveyard. Its mood is certain. Now, the lens baby, it works well for portraits, so you can use it. No aberrations exist if you get down to about f8 or so. It works as a fine lens. The beginning for the crucifix shot, I made this with a 400 millimeter lens. And I opened all the way to 5.6. And this lens reveals how limited the depth of field is, leaving only the cross, and maybe a teeny bit of that tree is even sharp. Now we've cropped it and enhanced the version of the crucifix. Now the final version divulges the creepier, intensified version with, a few ghouls and a skull. It's, make it what you want. Now, the kneeling angel was also photographed with a 400 millimeter lens. It reinforced the isolation of the angel itself. This selection discloses the effect of 4 different lenses and the field that they can reveal and append to the various photographic looks. We've also used Photoshop to crop and add borders and enhance the color. Now, in this final step was the intensification of the image to add all the apparitions into the pictures. What I did was I got free clip art pieces, just searched them out, and I took them and saved the little pieces that I wanted. I plopped them in the picture. Their opacity was adjusted to make them so they were just barely visible. As mentioned, this procedure was done as an example, just to illustrate what the heck you can do. It's amazing. Now, working with infrared. There are some cameras that are capable of seeing infrared spectrum without even having to go and have the camera sensor modified. Check your camera instruction manual and or specification tables, or take the following step. Take your camera, be looking through it, point your TV remote at the camera. Hold down any button on the remote and take a snapshot. If you can see the bright light from the remote, the camera is capable of infrared reception. And then all you have to do is purchase a correct size infrared IR filter for your lens. Now, I know you can get them from Amazon and other dealers, and you can get them in both a 750 nanometer or an 850 nanometer strength. Then all you have to do is, 1, focus the lens before you put it on the camera. Focus it, take off the lock so you're not using any autofocus at all. Add the filter, add the filter factor. Now, it's usually about 13 stops. This is going to be really dark. You're not going to see through it until you make the exposure. So now you're going to make your exposure by adding 13 stops. So you're going to be in, I can't even tell you, 10 minutes, I don't know, per exposure. That's one of the advantages of having a modified camera. It doesn't take this long. Now, if you can afford to dedicate a camera body to infrared, you have the capability of the IR sensor permanently installed. I just set mine at about f11. You have to focus for the infrared mark and shoot away, and they're really good, and it's fast, and I never have to worry. It's very helpful if the body has live view, because you can see what's going on through the body. It's not necessary, but it's helpful. So if you got a secondary body, you want to get it fixed, take a spin. Really cool. Now, color correction must be added to each final image in Photoshop or other software, because when it comes out, it's infrared. It's kind of like a purple looking image. And you can actually fix this. There's a tutorial, and I'll have Matt put that up on the screen. You can go to that tutorial. You can remember to push the K key, pause your video, write down the URL, push the K key again, and get started with the video again and go on. Lacking all of the expense, there are software filters that can be added in post-production, and they do a reasonable job of imitating the IR look. They are not true infrared, and they don't get the same effect, but they're getting close. Now, I'm going to put a picture up here. This displays the base IR effect. Now, this is after turning the raw into, I bring the raw up in my computer, and then go to new layer and turn it to black and white. And there's what it looks like out of the camera raw. Now, you can see the living trees and the grass. They're all reflecting large quantities of infrared. Our normal vision does not even detect that. Now, the second image has been cropped and enhanced with a little contrast, had surrounding vignette, and the border. Now, this tender grave marker has been enhanced and intensified. It was cropped. The vignette was added. I put a little bit of warm tone in to make it feel more matronly. Increased the contrast a touch, added the border, and finally intensified it with a few helper angels. In this series, the pine tree was set up as standard IR capture in the first image. The second image, we see it intensified. Here we have a herd of escapees moving from the netherworld in an IR realm. You can do all kinds of fun things. And this third image shows in Photoshop how I got it all together. You can see by looking down the right-hand column, it took a few extra layers. But it sure was fun. Now, the picture from the Snyder Crypt reveals the basic IR picture. And the second one uncovers the intensified story of the frustrated specter sitting waiting next to the door. Now here's the mystery shot of the day. You knew there would be one. Always keep an eye out for the really odd, unexpected, and the astonishing. You just never know what it's going to come from. And in this final image, it needed nothing more than me to finally notice the marker. Being out with a camera certainly exposes many surprises. The tone, the texture, the odd personality of infrared really brought out everything that was needed here. In the end, we always regret the life we failed to live. We hope you are excited about photography and your work. And we hope that you will feel liberated enough to carry and use that camera. I don't think it's particularly offbeat to see me out strolling about with a camera dangling from my neck or shoulder. I'm sure that the neighbors and all the people I see really expected of me now. The surprise has dwindled for most, and all I can say is, well, when it's all done, I got what I wanted, and I hope I die with a big smile on my face. Now, Matt and I really hope we've shared something appealing to you today, and it's useful, and these new ideas can really add to your excitement. If you're excited about this, and you like the fact that we got out and tried to do something in the field video-wise, share this with a new friend. Magnify their joy. Encourage them to subscribe. It really helps us grow, and it helps you to see things better and give you more interesting ideas. Give us that big thumbs up and a big smile. Ring that little bell for future notifications. Just polish up the skills and get out there. Have some fun. Remember, the mystery of life isn't a problem to solve, but a reality to experience and savor. Now, best wishes to you, my friends. Until we meet again, a tip of my hat to you, and cheerio.